Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Victoire. I am your host, Emir. Today's guest is a WWE Hall of Famer. He was one of the most memorable characters from the 1980s and 1990s. He traveled the world and he overcame a great many obstacles in his life, both personally and professionally. Today, he is a proud member of AEW, and he's a true inspiration to whomever he meets. Trust me, you're going to enjoy this one. Victoire.
Victoire gives a special thanks to the EWF and Mr. Jesse Hernandez, as well as SoCal Wrestling TV. Find the app for free on Roku. Staying healthy can be a challenge, but not with Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. Find the highest quality organic produce and supplements available in the USA. A tattoo is for life, so ensure that your tattoo artist is the very best in the country. Trusted Tattoo Company and Mobile Body Art Bus. Football, baseball, golf, whatever your sport of choice, whenever you visit Palm Springs in the Coachella Valley, visit Legends and Icons, your number one choice for sports bars.
Palm Springs, California, Indian Wells, California, Rancho Mirage, California. They're all considered a destination hotspot, a second home haven. With an exquisite record of negotiating the finest deals for clients, Lowell Folsom III and Associates always deliver. Contact Lowell today at 760-391-2504.
Now, on with the show.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Victoire. I'm joined today by WWE Hall of Famer. He is one of the true legends of professional wrestling, Mr. Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for joining us. So, Jake, your life has certainly changed for the better. It's significantly different from your days in the world of professional wrestling. Your story's been told many times, Jake, but for those viewers who may not be familiar with the story of Jake the Snake in pro wrestling, can you give us a brief summary of your career, some of the highlights?
Wow. Well, I started in 1973
Okay.
and kept going to 2010.
It's a long time.
So during all of that, set records all over the world for attendance. Just went everywhere with it.
Yeah.
You know, Europe, Japan, Australia, all over the States and Canada, Mexico, England, Europe.
Yeah.
So I've traveled just about everywhere doing it. And some of the highlights, I guess, would have been wrestling Andre the Giant. That was pretty wild, eventful. And other than that, I did 7 WrestleManias.
Yep.
Had Alice Cooper as a manager one WrestleMania, which was in Detroit, which set a record at the time of 93,000 people.
Yeah.
My God, there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's some of the highlights.
Yeah.
But it's the lowlights that are going to kill me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, struggling with alcohol and drugs. They took their toll, not only on me, but on my family. It finally came to a point of, in 2010, a friend of mine reached out to me, wanted to know if I wanted a little help. Yeah, a little. I wound up moving in with him for 3 years, Diamond Dallas Page, and we tackled this monster. And eventually we got it. It took me probably about 18 months to get completely clean. Um, I would have good days. I would have bad days. Um, I fell off the wagon, I think, 6 times
Okay. 6 times.
those months, and it was horrible, man. Every time I fell off of it, it was just mortifying for me. I just felt like I wasn't ever going to be able to do it, but I stood fast, and with friends and people around me that helped, we finally got it down. And I've been sober now for 12 years.
Congratulations, Jake.
Yeah, I would have never believed it. And they tell you in AA that if you do somehow manage to get sober, that the gifts you will be gifted, and things will come to you that you could have never thought of in a million years. And it's certainly been true with me.
Yeah.
I've done movies. Uh, I've done so much I can't even. It's just crazy. I mean, I just got an award for doing a thing for the BBC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. We just got awarded best sound for a thing we did called the skies are watching.
What was that about? Was that a documentary?
No, it's not a documentary. It was oh, you got to hold on, man. My brain doesn't work as fast as my mouth does. I'm looking for the right words.
Yeah.
Uh,
Was it presented at an award ceremony? Did you have to go to the ceremony for it?
so the ceremony, it was oh gosh, you would ask me that. I can't even tell you what award we got, where it was at. What the hell? I can't remember a damn thing right now, man.
It's okay, Jake. I'm sure it will come to you as
Yeah,
you keep thinking about it. But nonetheless, you've been involved in projects like that. You're
yeah,
still part of AEW. Now you came back to
yeah.
wrestling.
Of AEW, but doing this voiceover I did for the BBC was such. Um, it was new to me.
Mhm.
Using my voice, not using the whole package.
Yeah.
Uh, to be put into a room with the other actors and just let it go, and you're reciting this stuff and from memory,
Yeah.
which I don't know how I did it today because I couldn't remember nothing today. That's part of it, though.
Yeah.
Getting old sucks.
Yep. Yep. Well, we do, but fortunately for you, like I said, you've turned a new corner, a new chapter in your life. Jake, I must ask you because I am a man of faith.
Right,
And I remember back in '96 when you
right.
came into WWF, they used the faith gimmick, the angle. Were
Yeah.
you, were you a man of faith then? Because you are now, correct?
Yes, I was, and yes, I am.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So how much
Yeah.
has that been a factor into your recovery?
It was all about hope for me. I had fallen so far from all the lights and pyrotechnics and all that to not in the barrel but below the barrel.
Mhm.
I'd really fallen so far, and I'd given up on everything.
Okay.
I'd given up on me uh, for years. I disgusted myself. I couldn't see anything fruitful. I couldn't see anything happy. It was all bad news,
Hmm.
and it's a terrible place
Yeah.
to be hopeless. But after I started getting months of sobriety, and then a year, and then 2 years, 3 years, and then all of a sudden they're calling me, wanting me to do this crazy movie called Peanut Butter Falcon.
Okay. Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah, I did that and had a blast doing it.
Yeah.
I've done numerous movies, but that was probably the best one and the one that's most well known. But doing voice acting is now coming into my life.
Yeah. I can
I
see. I can see why, Jake.
wrinkled. They don't want anything as wrinkled as I am on TV. So.
No, you look good, Jake. Honestly, man, you look good. You know, it's but your voice is very defining. I remember watching you as a youngster, and especially when you turned heel back in '91 when you would use the "Trust Me,"
Right.
and let's talk about that right now because I want to get into that psychology. You had
Mm,
one of the best minds. You still have one of the best minds in pro wrestling. You were able
yeah.
to tell a story and you were able to captivate on that microphone. Uh,
Right.
what were you always gifted like that as a youngster, or was that something you had to practice?
I think I was gifted as a youngster. I didn't come from the best upbringing. There were some dark clouds around my life.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I had to learn how to lie at a very young age. Um, Learning how to lie to protect yourself, to ward off other people, because you're being threatened.
Okay.
Come up with stories that will fend them off.
Mhm.
It's not easy to do.
Oh,
Making a believable story is even harder. But I think over the years that it helped me in wrestling because of the storylines and stuff. Uh, you have to believe what you're saying, or it's not going to come across like you're really into it.
right, right.
So I think that's where it started.
Yeah. It's, I mean, yeah, certainly it's interesting how we begin in life and how later we can use some of those
Oh yeah,
situations to make us who we are now. I mean, yeah, but that, you perfectly articulated it right there. I could see how drawing from that, it would have helped you on the mic. Now, in terms of nerves, though, when you went out there and you did it live off the cuff, were you ever nervous or was it just
I
no, never nervous?
was very confident. Um, just a gift, man. Totally just a gift because it just seemed like I couldn't say anything wrong.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I didn't go out with a long script. I never was scripted.
Right?
I did it off the cuff and was just blessed with a mind that could go there.
Yeah. How important do you think that is, Jake, in pro wrestling? Because obviously today, I mean,
Mm.
we see a little bit of traces of that from the early '90s. But do you think it's vitally important that the guys can do what you did?
I think it's paramount, you
Yeah.
know. And I tell you what you see is you see these young guys today that get started and then 6, 7 years they're gone,
Right.
and you can't even remember their names.
Very true. Very true.
And the reason being is that they've taken so many shortcuts
Mhm.
from not knowing their art that they're going out and busting themselves up doing things that their bodies aren't capable of doing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a damn shame because some of these kids have a lot to offer, but they're not being given the time to nurture it, to let it grow. And they're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. And as I'm listening to you speaking there, obviously I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up mindfulness, because obviously now, you're a totally different man than you were back then. And we've heard time and time again that there were big egos in wrestling and it was all about egos. But now being on the opposite side of that, being the guy who wants to give back and teach now, do you think that came from after you overcame your situations, or do you think that just is something innate because of your faith that you're able to be mindful?
I think it's my faith, man. You know, I know I was gifted that I didn't come up with these ideas.
Mhm.
Um, Things were given to me from another being, another source, and I just let it fly.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, Never had to think about what I was going to do. It just came naturally.
yeah. It definitely. I mean, you captivated, like I said, you captivated a generation across the entire world. And when you
Yeah.
think back, is what you were just talking about there, you were so I started watching wrestling in 1990. So I kind of basically knew Jake the Snake from 90 to 92. You made a huge impact. And I remember those 2 years. And then when you came back, of course, in 96, I remember that vividly too. But it just goes to show what you were saying. Because you were the total package and you believed in the character, that
Right.
4 years, I'm still thinking about it almost 35 years later.
35 years later, it's still a memory. It's still something you draw from. It's still something you remember.
Yeah.
And I still scare you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I could do with my mind
Yep.
and the way I would come with it.
Yep.
Uh, today, man, I try to help the young guys.
Mhm.
Boy, their egos are
Yeah.
so big, and it's such a shame. I've helped a few,
Okay.
but near as many as I would have liked to. Uh, Today, I find myself helping people that are struggling with getting sober.
Yeah.
Now, that's where my real joy is.
Okay.
Helping somebody beat it, helping somebody get a fresh start, helping. There's nothing makes me feel better than to get a letter from some kid that says, "Hey, thanks for helping my daddy.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
He's moved back home with us now."
How how
That friend is a good one.
how are you able to do that now, Jake? Do you have your own seminars or things like that? How are you doing that?
I just I meet people. I have people contact me all the time, and we just get hooked up.
Mhm.
You know, and also the movie helped the resurrection.
Yeah.
Um, People watch that and they want to contact me and see how to get started or how they can help somebody else. And that's the thing that I stress is that we all know people that are struggling,
Yeah.
each and every one of us. Yet, how many of us take action and
Yeah.
try to help?
You. Very few.
Very few.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to start doing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
We helping people.
Yeah. And it's interesting because social media paints a picture that everybody's living their best life, which is far from the truth. Uh,
Right.
Behind those smiles and those photoshopped images is there's a lot of pain and misery. And we're sadly, I'm not sure if you reflect my thought here, Jake, but we are living in a society now that has become more about self more than ever.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, having, individuals such as yourself, but again, you got given that platform, God blessed you with that platform to be known to these individuals. So now being able to use that, um, is everything okay, Jake?
Yeah, just my wife's trying to get my attention. Hold on just for one. Okay. All right, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's all right. No worries, man. It takes precedent. I know. Um, but yeah, given that platform, so now that you can go and do this and help people,
Oh,
it is, it's a
yeah,
tremendous gift.
yeah. People don't, they come to me and they're like, how did you have this problem and how does this happen and how does that happen?
Mm.
No, I don't remember when it started.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I just know that it did. I don't think I've met anybody in a rehab facility or in jail that said, you know what, when I was growing up, my dream was to become an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Right.
Nobody dreams of that stuff.
No. No.
Yet it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. And that's where faith comes in. And I think if I'd have been stronger in my faith in the earlier years, maybe I wouldn't have had to fall as far as I did.
Mhm.
I, but maybe I had to be busted down to my knees, man, to finally get my attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Jake the Snake can't even do this.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, because I used to depend on Jake,
Right.
and I had to dust him off and put him away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way, we give glory to the Lord, everything is from him. We say, God willing, no, I will do this because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You know,
Exactly.
you, you, we got to be humble in that regard. So hearing that now, I'm curious now, when you take that, you take your faith into a locker room. How is that
Uh,
received? It's tough.
it,
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of ridicule, a lot of bullshit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I had to deal with a lot of it, man, because I was the first guy to bring it into the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, there were a lot of nasty pranks pulled, a lot of horrible things said and done.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I look back on those guys that did those things, and it's amazing how many of them have fallen,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and not gotten back up.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I feel for them. I reach out to them from time and time again,
Hmm.
but they still got a lot of pride.
Yeah. And as we know, pride comes before the fall.
Darn tootin' it does.
Uh, it yeah, it definitely does. Um, Now, but with you're moving into the present as well, again, Jake, because I know we're good on time. So working again back in the industry, was
Right.
was it easy to go back to? Did you find that there was a little bit of resistance on your part, or did you welcome it?
Going back, I was a different man. It was quite exciting to go back.
Yeah.
Um, I remember that first night that I went to AEW and cut the promo on Cuddy Rhodes, and just blew everybody's socks off.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you
Oh
did. I,
yeah,
I I got goosebumps when I was watching that, Jake.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when I walked into the locker room, it was different, man. It was more of reverence almost. Just the guys really looked up to me because they know what I'd been through. They know where I'd been and how far I'd fallen. And the fact that I got back up amazed even the worst and the best. Because there were a lot of doubters.
Mhm.
There's a lot of jealous, ugly people out there in this world.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
believe it.
you got to be aware of that.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with Tony Khan? Is it good, very
It's,
good?
it's solid.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I respect him immensely. He's a good man. a fair man, and a very smart man.
Yeah. Yeah. Very smart. I mean, he revolutionized. I mean, from having no competition. Well, WWE had TNA, but it had become Impact. And then to have AEW just blast on the scene back on TNT, it's a huge accomplishment what he's
Oh
done.
yeah, oh it shook him up too.
Yeah, it definitely shook him up. And you do other things for AEW, right? So you're not just you've done on screen. You managed the what is it
It's
Murder
hard. Yeah,
And then, but you're also doing, are you an ambassador for AEW now as well?
more or less,
Okay.
more or less. We do a lot of charity work, and we reach out to help little organizations and individuals.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of your circle today, who are some of the guys that you are most the closest to now?
Diamond Dallas Page, Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
Okay.
Murder Hawk Monster, uh, and then I got my circle of friends that I hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you getting to all the conventions and everything that we got?
Yeah, doing a lot of the conventions, doing a lot of Comic Cons,
Okay.
um, doing quite a few of those.
Yeah.
I'll do 30 Comic Cons this year.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
It keeps you going, man.
Yeah. And then let's talk about also we heard that your wife again, Cheryl. So
Yeah.
tell us, how did that happen? How did that happen?
Well, that wasn't easy. There was a lot of things that had to be talked about. You know, we've married for 13 years, then we separated for 24, and then we got back together.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations.
I give that one to the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And now she's working with you. She's alongside you. We've seen you at some of the Comic Cons and yeah, that's a truly remarkable story. Like I said, everything has changed completely for you. It's just a true blessing to be able to see what God can do in a man and then change him and now you can give back so much, with what you've been given.
And it's such a joy to give.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe share with the viewers. Tell them about that, because often we hear, oh yeah, take, me.
Man, there's so much more in giving than there is in taking.
Hmm.
It lifts your heart, lifts your soul, lifts your being. Uh, yeah, that's what I like doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell. I can see the joy on your face. Uh, it's, it's a wonderful thing to see, Jake. Just a few more quick questions for you then. So what does the next few years look like for Jake? Have you got anything big on the horizon?
I don't plan on anything.
Okay.
I just wait for it to walk in the door. Uh, I quit trying to drive the car back when I sobered up. You know, I let the Lord drive it, and I get my direction from Him.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very good. And then I always ask this question, Jake. What do you think is the meaning of life?
Ah, living, living.
Okay.
You know, just learning how to live. You know, we're taught to take, and then we learn. But that comes from living. And you have to experience some of the bad to get some of the good.
Yeah.
You know, to have that appreciation for life, that it is a gift, that you're not promised anything. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then any words of advice for any young person, any children out there that may be watching professional wrestling? anything that you could offer them that may prepare them for what lies ahead if they were to make it. Words of wisdom, pearls of wisdom.
Well, that would be stay clean and sober above all else, and find the Lord in your life.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of room.
Yep.
Plenty of room. Other than that, be good to your friends. Be good to strangers too.
Yeah. You never know who you're entertaining.
No, you don't.
Never know who you're entertaining. Well, Jake, I know you've got some other things to do and take care of today. I want to thank you for taking time out of your life to bless us, with this interview, to share some more thoughts, some more wisdom from you. And thank you for everything that you did in your career, Jake. You certainly inspired me, with your mind and with your words and your dedication to your character. But what is a bigger inspiration is seeing now what the Lord has done in your life and what you're giving back. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Take.
Take care. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Thank you, Jake. Have a
All
good one.
right.
All right. Bye.